What's up everyone? Today, Mommy and Daddy Lau are going to teach us their recipe for Joong, or sticky rice dumplings. There are a ton of variations across Asia, but at its core, it's a pocket of sticky rice with delicious fillings, wrapped together in beautiful bamboo leaves. The style of Joong that we'll be learning today comes from Toisanese, where my parents grew up. In their villages, my grandparents used to make this for my parents, and my parents still make this for us pretty much every year for the Dragon Boat Festival, which falls on the 5th day of the 5th month in the Chinese calendar. Teaching us how to make these delicious sticky rice dumplings will be my parents, who used to run their own Chinese restaurant together when we were little. My dad also happens to be playing the flute that you're listening to right now. After the recipe, I invite you to eat with us as we dive into how my grandparents used to make Joong, as well as the somewhat morbid but endearing origin story of this dish. If you're looking for a written version of this recipe, check out our blog post at madewithlau.com, where you'll find an adjustable list of ingredients and step-by-step videos to guide you as you make the recipe at home. Hope you guys enjoy!
朋友們，大家好啊！今日呢，我哋整咗個係我哋屋企嘅家鄉鹹肉粽。本嚟呢個粽呢，正規就係端午節嘅時候嗰個應節包粽嘅。但係我哋屋企又唔係中意幾時食就幾時包嘅啫。嗱，我仲有一個重要嘅原因呢，就係有位朋友佢好孝順。佢想包啲粽俾佢阿爺食啊，咁佢就想叫我介紹包粽呢個材料同埋方法話俾佢聽。好嘢，我好中意呢個好孝順嘅朋友。嗱，而家呢，我哋先介紹下我哋所用嘅原料先，即係呢嗰啲材料啦嚇。鹹肉粽就一定係要豬肉啦，係咪？仲有一個原因呢，包粽一定係要粽葉，呢啲係粽葉嚟嘅。喺嗰啲亞洲嘅商店咧，嘅士多咧，多數都會有得賣嘅。
Just to highlight some of the key ingredients, we'll be using 2 pounds of sticky rice, which should yield about 20 individual Joong dumplings. Also known as glutinous rice or sweet rice, sticky rice is used in a lot of Asian desserts and dishes, and is a staple of Southeast Asian cuisine. Compared to regular rice, sticky rice has a shorter grain and is missing one of the 2 main molecular components of starch. This makes it easier to break down in hot water and gives the rice its namesake. Also, even though it's called glutinous rice, it's completely gluten-free. We'll also be using 14 ounces of peeled split mung beans, which you've probably encountered as bean sprouts. Mung beans were first domesticated in India over 4,000 years ago and have since become a popular ingredient for its rich, starchy texture and high protein content. Today, progressive companies like Beyond Meat use mung bean as one of their main plant-based protein sources in their popular alternatives to meat. There are several other special ingredients that make up the filling that we'll get to, and I've included links for each of them in the description if you don't have easy access to an Asian grocery store. Since making Joong can take some time, I'd even suggest scaling up these amounts, which is really easy to do on our website. My wife and I can easily eat 2 or 3 of these in one sitting, and my parents usually make way more than 20 Joong at a time to give to friends and relatives. Since this is a recipe that takes a day or 2 to prepare, I wanted to give you an overview of all the major steps. Let's say we want to have these ready for dinner on Sunday. Then on Saturday morning, we'll prepare the pork belly and let it marinate overnight. We'll also soak, boil, and wash the bamboo leaves, and then let the leaves sit in water overnight as well. On Sunday morning, we'll wash, soak, cut, and flavor the rest of our ingredients. On Sunday afternoon, we'll start assembling and wrapping our Joong with our bamboo leaves. Once the Joong dumplings are wrapped and tied, we'll boil them for 3 hours. Then they'll be ready to eat for dinner. If you're pressed for time or if you have a lot of hands on deck, it's possible to do all of this in a single day by combining the marinating and soaking that occurs on Saturday and Sunday morning. Here are some other items you'll need. A big salad bowl or basin for washing, lots of bowls for soaking, a colander for draining, cotton cooking twine for wrapping, and a big pot for boiling. Making Joong is a long labor of love, and it's a really fun activity to do with family or a big group of friends.
切咗啲豬肉先嗬，呢度係1磅咁上下嗰啲五花肉。咩叫做五花肉呢？嗱，睇到佢啲肉有啲肥，一格肥一格瘦，一格肥一格瘦咁喺度，係嘛？睇到啊？嗱。
We'll carefully cut our pork belly into small 1-inch pieces. Next, we'll marinate our pork belly. Using a bowl, add 1 teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of 5 spice powder, 1 tablespoon of light soy sauce, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon, and 1 teaspoon of Shaoxing cooking wine. Then mix together the flavors and place the meat into the bowl. Mix everything together with a spoon for about 60 to 90 seconds. At a minimum, let the pork marinate for at least 3 hours. Ideally, let it marinate overnight.
而家咧將啲粽葉嚟整好先嚇。啲粽葉咧佢係乾嘅，買翻嚟乾嘅一隻隻喺度嘅嗬。將啲粽葉俾啲水浸住佢，最少半個鐘至1個鐘啦。浸完咗之後咧，呢啲水落去煲滾佢，然之後咧將啲葉再洗乾淨，咁就可以包得粽噶啦。我哋而家咧就俾啲水浸咗啲粽葉先嗬。
The primary goal for this section is to make sure that our bamboo leaves are pliable enough to bend and wrap without cracking. Secondly, we're sanitizing our leaves by boiling them and scrubbing them with a clean sponge later. For each zong, we'll need 3 leaves to fully wrap the dumpling. So we're looking at preparing at least 60 leaves, plus a healthy margin of additional leaves in case they get cracked in the process.
啲水浸住佢，呢個嘢裝啲水，就佢擲住佢落去。浸好咗嘅就擺落去個鑊度煲。加啲水落去，等啲浸過啲粽葉佢嗬，睇到啊？未有，再加一啲嚇，再加啲水。
Next, we'll place a weight on the leaves to keep them submerged. Then, we'll cover the wok, set the stove to high heat, and wait for it to come to a boil. Once it's boiling, we can start washing the leaves. You can also use a big pot for this step instead of a wok.
用個蓋冚住佢，咁樣直到嗰啲水滾咗之後咧，嗰啲葉就可以得㗎啦。如果係或者20分鐘、15分鐘、20分鐘咁上下啦，就水就滾㗎啦。
好似第啲碟你會已經煲啲水，呢度得唔得啊？
咁樣冇咁好，就等佢慢慢咁樣啲溫度，咁就嘅意思即係話啲葉唔會咁容易裂開，係嘛？突然間好啲滾水咁沖落去咧，到你洗嘅時候佢就或者容易裂開啲。咁俾佢慢慢自然吸收咗啲溫度之後咧，當啲葉慢慢咁啲溫度增加時候咧，佢就會自然咁放軟，即係軟咗啲葉啦。處理啲粽葉先啦，啲粽葉咧煲到而家咧就已經夠㗎啦。係要猛火煲，要猛火煲。但係煲滾咗之後咧，就可以慢火都唔怕嗱，睇到嘛？你使煲個粽葉就係咁啦，係嘛？好啦，我哋而家洗咯，要洗啊！唔係煲咗就得喎，煲咗仲要洗乾淨。哇！我哋倒佢出嚟，哇！倒佢出嚟呢度洗啦。即係講包粽係好食，但係好多工，知道嘛？
Using a clean sponge, carefully wipe down and wash both sides of each leaf.
嗱，就兩呢塊擦佢，擦乾淨佢嗱，兩邊都要拍，兩邊都要咩？嗱，兩邊都要洗乾淨嘅。嗱，係要洗咁嘅先洗先得乾淨啊嘛，沖唔沖得乾淨啊？又要洗嗱，好香啲葉。
If you're planning on marinating your pork belly overnight and finishing cooking the next day, then place the leaves in a bucket or a big bowl of water so they stay moist overnight. A few hours before we're ready to start wrapping and cooking, we'll wash, soak, chop, and flavor our remaining ingredients. For about 20 zong dumplings, we'll be using 2 pounds of sticky rice, 14 ounces of mung beans, 12 ounces of peanuts, 2 ounces of dried shrimp, 2 pieces of Chinese sausage, 10 salted egg yolks, and 15 pieces of dried shiitake mushrooms. We'll need to wash the rice, mung beans, peanuts, dried shrimp, and dried mushrooms by filling a bowl with water, massaging and mixing it, and then draining the water. Repeat this cycle 3 times per ingredient, and then we'll soak each ingredient in water for 30 minutes. Make sure not to soak the ingredients for too long, especially for the rice and mung beans, since they will get bigger and softer the longer we soak them. After 30 minutes is up, thoroughly drain each of the ingredients with a colander and set them aside.
好啦，而家切埋啲臘腸先嚇。臘腸咧，斜斜地咁切。冬菇嗱，呢已經斬好咗噶啦。我哋一個冬菇咧，切3下啦。當然，如果你唔中意食冬菇嘅，唔俾啲嘢都冇乜問題咯。我哋屋企經常就係咁樣，中意俾咩就俾咩啦。
If some of the mushrooms aren't yet fully rehydrated, just continue soaking them after you've chopped them.
啲蝦米，因為佢太過大隻咧，所以我哋要切碎，切一切佢嚇。點樣？反正你揦開擺開落嘅啫嘛。
如果買細啲唔使切啊？
細啲嘅咯，我唔使切啦，因為我啲蝦米太過大隻嚇。我屋企買嗰啲蝦米太隻，好靚嗰啲蝦米，貴啊，好貴啲蝦米，貴嗰啲細隻蝦米好多㗎，呢啲蝦米好食嗰啲好多㗎。你係如果買嗰啲細隻蝦米就唔使切啦，蝦米就切好啦。啲鹹蛋咧，我通常咧就包嘅時候先至俾落去，呢啲鹹蛋黃嚟嘅嚇，切開一半，一開二。就係咁啦。
Next, we'll add some flavor to the rice and mung beans. To the rice, add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Mix evenly with a spoon for 60 to 90 seconds. To the mung beans, we'll add 1 teaspoon of salt and mix everything with a spoon for another 60 to 90 seconds. Next, Mommy Lau is going to show us how to fill and wrap our Joong with bamboo leaves.
Do I look good? Hi, all the dear fans. Mama Lau is going to a demonstration the Joong in Cantonese or sticky rice dumpling. I learned this when I was a teenage. I grew up in the Toisanese family. I saw my mother, my grandma. They made this dumpling. I was helping on the side and I absorbed how they do it. Okay, first, for all those leaves, you can see the leaf is not the same size. They have a big leaf. See, this is a big leaf, right? This is a small leaf. They have a shiny side on the top. The bottom side is kind of rough. You can touch, then you can see it's very easy to see the difference. For each dumpling, we use 3 leaves. So I put the big leaf and the small leaf on the top. Before you put 2 leaves, you can check, like this leaf, right, have a little crack, but on the side of the crack, it's okay. But if in the middle of the crack, you either throw away the leaf or you can use the second leaf cover the crack. For this leaf, have a upper round corner and the bottom pointing. I use the big leaf, shiny side, the small leaf, shiny side. Made this opposite, the pointing point with the round hair. Put together, we leave the distance about 2 centimeters. Between 2 leaves is 2 centimeters. Fold forward to the center like this and then hold it and then make the second fold in the bottom. Second fold in the bottom about 1.5 to 2 centimeters. Fold it like this, fold it like this, fold it like this. So you can see like this, right? So the bottom and the top. So after you fold, you can see the pocket. You can see the first leaf here, the second leaf here, and the corner here and the pocket. Okay, now we are going to start to fill in. First, 2 tablespoons of the sweet rice, kind of spread a little bit. And then 1 tablespoon mung bean, kind of spread it a little bit. And then 1 tablespoon peanut, and then also spread in the center a little bit, okay? Put pork belly 1 piece. And then 1 piece of the Chinese sausage, also put it in the center. And 1 piece of the egg yolk, put it in the center. 2 pieces of the dry shrimp. 1, you can put it in the top. 1 put it in the bottom here. 2 pieces of the dry mushroom. 1 in the top, 1 in the bottom here. So we're going to fill in one more time. 1 tablespoon mung bean, spread from the top to the bottom. 2 tablespoons sweet rice and also spread from the top in the bottom. So after you fill it in, you can use a spoon, make a little even inside. Then we use the other leaf. For this time, you don't have to pick like a small or big. They both okay. So like that. Wrap it. first, you fold this side, fold it, and then fold again this side of the leaf. So after that, then it will become like this, okay? And then the topper leaf, so fold downward all the way like this, fold it. Like pretty much just like this, okay? This is dumbbell wrapping. This is the cotton string we're gonna use. I usually leave about 6 inch, so my finger holding the string in the middle, start to wrap. So start use the string, binding the whole sweet rice dumpling, make a loop all the way here. So done wrapping here. So after that, then I turn over, meet the string I was safe in the first, and then make a cross, double cross, and then make the other bending on the straight way. So pretty much done. So now we can tie a knot, double knot. Okay, done. So we can cut the string. And also, you can see this is extra leaf here. We can cut that too. So all those sweet rice dumpling, you don't have to exactly how big and how small, but most of the time, if you use 3 pieces of the bamboo leaves, about 5.5 ounce to 6.5 ounce, the weight, okay? So pretty much just like this. It's pretty easy. You don't have to worry about perfect wrapping. As long as you have all those very delicious ingredients inside the sweet dumpling, will taste pretty good. Thank you for watching Mama Lau how to wrap the sweet rice dumpling.
Now, we'll repeat this process until all of our sticky rice dumplings are assembled. I know that was a lot of information, but don't worry if it's not perfect. As long as the leaves and string hold everything together, it should be totally fine. Also, this is something that you'll get better at with practice. Feel free to rewind as many times as you need. Visit our blog for more info, or leave a comment if you have any questions.
粽就已經包咗啦，我睇睇包嘅好靚。而家咧嗱，俾咗粽落去先至放水啦。嗱，好啦，擺水落去啦。而家咧就放啲凍水落去，水咧就一定要擺到浸過啲粽面上嗬。佢粽包粽係俾啲凍水好啲嘅。如果你俾啲滾水落嘅話咧，佢突然間面上咪已經係咩咯？熟咗就啲米就冇咁軟啦，知道嘛？陣間咧仲要反佢嚇，但係個時間咧要3個鐘頭，所以我哋而家咧就慢慢等啦 ，OK？ 開到最猛嘅火，最 high 嗰度，開火開到最猛嗰度，等佢滾咗之後咧就收慢佢，開個中火就得啦。滾咗之後咧，就等3個鐘頭，等慢慢煲嚇，慢慢等啦。
While this is cooking, the water level will probably drop over time due to evaporation. Set a timer for every 30 minutes to check that the zong are fully submerged, adding boiled water if necessary. It'll help to have a kettle of boiled water on hand that you can keep reheating.
好啦，粽煲到而家就有3個鐘噶啦，熟噶啦，開始。我而家留佢出嚟嗬，大家睇住，噔噔噔噔 ，OK。睇住先，噔噔噔噔 ，OK， 粽就煲食咗啦，可以食得。呢個係我哋屋企嘅家鄉鹹肉粽。食粽，唔該，食粽唔該。OK， 食粽 ，OK。
I'm ready to eat.
OK。
呢個調呢個先好嘛？
Cheers!
Cheers!
Cheers! 食粽，哇！ 喺度煲啊，啲煲種你知唔知啊？煲，佢喺度唔使瞓覺，喺度煲好多㗎，煲好多種㗎。
幾多啊？
起碼有100條，係咪100？你知佢俾咩煲咗？大個4方嗰啲高嗰啲火水箱啊，裝 gas 嗰啲油嗰啲桶啊。
They use a big pan.
分咗兩個火水個喺度，俾啲磚碟佢做喺度，俾啲柴燒啊。
They use the brick to make the stone, then put a lot of like a wood inside to slowly cook for a few hours.
Now I made 100 at a time.
Oh my gosh.
But when we was little, I have been mentioned many times, we really love the food. So most time my mother made Joong only put red bean and peanut, a piece of pork belly, mixed up with some flavor. That's it.
Yeah.
But it's not like right now. We have a egg yolk, we have a mushroom, we have a dry shrimp. Before no, it's very plain. We don't have that much stuff inside. Still tastes really good.
Yeah.
Because the flavor will go to the rice.
Yeah.
Plus the bamboo leaf have a very natural plain smell.
Yeah.
The flavor from the bamboo leaf
陳生先食咧，
goes straight to the dumpling. So made the taste is so good.
Yeah.
呢啲葉有冇味啊？
有
煲
粥味啦，
煲
粥味
嗰啲葉去晒嗰啲咩味㗎啦已經。幾時好香，佢香啊嘛。唔知你香。
So the bamboo leaf, that's why you can taste different. You don't have that kind of taste when in normal food.
Yeah.
When you go to the dim sum in the restaurant, they call this 糯米雞. 糯米雞. Inside is sweet rice and mixed up with some of the chicken. And they saute really well.
咁點解佢飲茶唔要做種啊？
唔係唔同咁啲種，有另外一樣嘅。糯米雞同呢個種係唔同嘅。
唔知係嘛？
It is
我
similar.
咧糯米雞咧就煮熟啲糯米飯，煮熟啲飯就俾啲嚿雞肉啦、mushroom 啦、臘腸啦，俾塊嗰啲蓮葉，咩蓮葉？蓮葉啊！你知唔知咩係蓮葉啊？
Lotus
牛嗰啲
leaf.
葉
Lotus leaf.
包晒一嚿嚿咧，就俾個鑊蒸，
Steam.
蒸熟佢添，唔使好似呢啲，佢都好快脆嘅啫。
糯米雞複雜啲定
糯米雞冇咁複雜，我可以，但係你想整糯米雞咧，我睇下攞唔攞都要蓮子葉，我就幫你整糯米雞。容易啫，我揾到有蓮葉就得啦。煎熟咗糯米飯，切嚿雞肉，一嚿 mushroom， 一嚿臘腸，咁包住一嚿，咁好似你飲茶咁細嚿嘅啫嘛。仲容易嘅做呢啲啊，蓮藕葉嗰種味道同呢啲唔同啊。人哋食糯米雞就係食個蓮子呢蓮藕葉個味道。
你中意邊個多啲？
呢個我中意呢個多啲，兩樣都好，兩樣都好。
This one is more popular family made. When I was little, our family everybody made like Toisanese the way we made. But if you live in a different region, like in different county, they still use the bamboo leaf, but they made out different shape. I have a four corner, right?
Yeah.
They have a five.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's similar, pretty similar. Just the wrapping is different.
Yeah. Oh.
The wrapping is different. For this one, we made 10 pounds of the sweet rice, 20 pounds of the sweet rice in once. Right now we have a refrigerator, right? We put in the freezer. So when we have a busy day, we don't have time to cook, then we might just take our one for lunch.
Oh yeah, you made these for me for college.
Yeah, and steam it.
係啊，你唔知得幾多啊？唔記得。
Yeah, when he was in UCLA, Daddy made whole box of the food for him to put in the freezer. They just take it out when they're
有
hungry.
粽啊，有鍋貼咧。
20 pounds of food.
Yeah, I remember one time when we first started dating, they had a big box, just
And like
stacked up with
4 or 5
everything.
Randy is lucky, have the father is a cook.
Oh, baby.
You're a lucky guy.
We have to learn to make this for you, baby.
Yeah. I think we can buy the leaf in the Asian store. How about Amazon? Do you think Amazon can sell
It's
that?
dry, yeah.
Yeah, it's not expensive. Couple $, for for one package.
咁你以前煮係咪自己種啲？
咩買翻嚟仲種唔到啲葉嘅。
So the string you also can buy in the store.
Does it have to be this kind of string?
Yeah, because you have 3 hour cook.
Oh, wow.
Survive.
Yeah, you cannot use any chemical plastic string to.
以前咧就唔係用呢啲包嘅，就係用呢啲草包嘅。
草。哦。
This one kind of
呢啲草
long
啊，
is called
以
long
前咧
grass.
就係用呢啲草嚟包嘅，咁樣捲住嘅。啊，
你攞隻種包住佢，捲住佢。
嗱，咁樣包到咧，就咁樣，個包到呢度嚟嘅，咁樣包。
That's in the old day.
包到呢度
Old
咧，
day.
包到呢度咧，就呢度打裂喺度。
Right now, if you living in China, in Hong Kong, you still able to get this kind of string.
我用呢啲啊。
But in United States,
Yeah.
香港人都係用呢啲多。
Hong Kong still
不過而
using
家
Ah.
呢度，除非你要呢啲要買嘅呢種。以前鄉下就用呢啲，而家就唔係媽咪包就用呢啲繩。食啦，你中意食啦，中意食。OK，
Yeah.
So this is your village's recipe?
Toisanese style. Toisanese style. It's later.
以前就係，以前咧啲鄉下就大陸間啲鄉下就1年食一次，多到1年。
May
即
feast
係
is
個個都
called
食㗎啦。
端午節. That's the story only. Memorize one of the person is called Wat Yun. He is the patriotic person, love his country, but he doesn't like the government. Then he hold the big stone drum in the river, and then the people love him. The people doesn't want his body eat by the fish and the shrimp in the river. So they cook the rice, wrap with the bamboo leaf, let the fish and the shrimp eat, instead to eat Wat Yun's body, the dead body. That's the only story. That's how people have a 端午節. It's called Dragon Boat Race. Yeah.
Wow, the dragon boat
That's
race.
for this holiday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Dragon Boat Race also made fit 端午節 big activity.
Wow.
What is
In
dragon?
China.
What is dragon boat racing after?
They say they do this, it protect this person. Protect Wat Yun. I'm not telling you the exact story, but that's how I learned.
All over. Are you guys matching today?
Yeah.
Yay! You both in white.
Okay. You will be made this for Cam.
Okay.
Yeah.
To end on a personal note, in the past, I used to take these dumplings for granted, but now I definitely realize how much effort and love goes into making them. Both of my parents grew up making these with my grandparents, who learned it from their parents, and so on. As our son and future kids get older, I look forward to continuing the tradition with my family and passing it down through the generations.
Cam, mommy first. Joong,
First one.
sweet rice dumpling for you. Oh, well, okay.
And with that, on behalf of the Laos, we really appreciate all of your love and support. We hope this recipe brings your family and loved ones much love and joy in all the years to come.
Cam say, thank you for your support. See you next time. Cam say, bye.
Bye, Kim.
Bye.
Smile.
Thank you. Thank you. You will make delicious sweet rice dumpling. Toisanese Joong.
Yum.